The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus told his disciples a parable. Can a blind person guide a blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? No disciple is superior to the teacher, but when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me remove that splinter in your eye," when you do not even notice the wooden beam in your own eye? You hypocrite! Remove the wooden beam from your eye first, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye. A good tree does not bear rotten fruit, nor does a rotten tree bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its own fruit. For people do not pick figs from thorn bushes, nor do they gather grapes from brambles. A good person out of the store of goodness in his heart produces good, but an evil person out of a store of evil produces evil. For from the fullness of the heart the mouth speaks. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Speaking of rotten trees, I know some of us had an attachment to those trees that were out there just a year ago. I'm so glad that they were taken out. Otherwise, they could have taken out one of these windows last Sunday. We had a tree fall in Willard. And so anyways, thanks to our donor who made it happen. Took care of those older trees. George Simon, he's a psychologist. He's the author of a couple books, Character Disturbance and In Sheep's Clothing, Understanding and Dealing with Manipulative People. And he addresses an uneasy feeling that sometimes we get stuck with interacting with some people, the feeling of being manipulated. We can't put it into words necessarily, but we feel like something just happened to us in an interaction that was kind of out of our control. The feeling of manipulation. And he also addresses what to do about it. And his contention is, unless we study up on the tactics of manipulation, and the tactics being scapegoating, somebody always blaming somebody else, playing the victim, feigning innocence, we have to work to pinpoint those tactics. We, the manipulated, when we're in the middle of this, we don't know what's going on. We tend to backpedal and have our attention diverted. And Simon warns all of us who ever had the feeling of being manipulated, get it through your head. Manipulation is not a defense mechanism that some people use. It is intentional. It's a person going on the offensive to get and to protect and to maintain what they want. There's a subtle phrase that gets lost in between the popular phrases of today's gospel. We know the popular ones. Blind leading the blind. Remove the beam from your eye first. And every tree is known by its fruits. But there's a subtle phrase in there that is the standard and the expectation of Jesus for people who listen to his words. And here it is. When fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. When fully trained. Back to psychology. By now, many of us have heard of this phrase, gaslighting. It's a term based on a 1944 Ingrid Bergman movie. And what is gaslighting? It's psychological abuse. The gaslighter positions us to question what we are convinced and what we know to be true. And we know that we're healthy in mind and body. but they do something to us where we question what we even know, question our own sanity. And this form of manipulation can take the form of, you're imagining things. You never said this. The gaslighter will point, you're imagining things. And gaslighters can often use a nice, sweet little voice to throw something at us, to make us a little bit confused. They'll use the sweet voice until they're found out, and then they'll unleash. Standing up for yourself in life. Do we still teach our kids to stand up for themselves? Or do we teach them just to get along is the goal? And adults, have you brought it upon yourself as far as situations, it's time to stand up for myself? Standing up for ourselves can take the form of, no matter what age, no, I am not imagining this. I know that it's true. Standing up for ourselves. This is lost, I think, but it's always accessible. Go back in the story of our faith. In between the covers of the Bible, from the Garden of Eden to the book of Revelation, lost, but still accessible lesson to the person of faith is that accessible within us in our mental, spiritual, and physical capacities is the responsibility and the empowerment and the freedom and the liberation we can access here from how God made us and what Jesus taught us through confrontation. You ever want to be liberated from something? You have to enter into confrontation. Go back to the story of the book. That's part of it. And notice there are 3 stages of confrontation when Jesus brings up his common teaching of a splinter and a wooden beam. There are 3 stages of confrontation. And what are they? Stage number 1, when Jesus addresses the splinter. You want to correct somebody's flaw. It's nagging. Again, use the example of manipulation. There is something wrong, not just with me, but with that person. That's stage 1. Something needs to be confronted there. But notice stage 2 with Jesus. Assess your own vision. Back off a little bit. What do you fail to see? Before you confront that person, what is it that you are blind to? And if you're blind to anything, remove that wooden beam. That's stage 2 of confrontation. And then stage 3, after seeing clearly, now remove the splinter from your brother. And confirmation kids get to know this over the course of time. One of the spiritual works of mercy is admonishing sin. We do have the responsibility, our responsibility, to do what we can to take the splinter out of somebody, taking the sin out. George Simon, back to him, and referencing those very words from Jesus about the splinter and the wooden beam, he said, to remove something small, you need precision and vision. And that's why people get 4-8 years of training, medical training, to do the small things. You see that? And a mechanic can know this too. You need precision of overall vision to remove something small that is the problem. No one is going to save you out there. You know that? No one's going to save you from a manipulator if you're in that kind of relationship, or even in that work setting. No one is going to save you from a gaslighter. And no one is waiting out there, either among us or out there, to save us from our fears, our anxieties, our loneliness, our busyness. Nobody's going to save us from whatever it is that's oppressing us right now. And beware of anyone in our ranks who proposes to save you from anything. This is what Jesus said. I am sending you out as sheep among wolves. Our Savior sends out his disciples like sheep among wolves. That's what's out there for his disciples are the wolves. And so to be fully trained, this is the exhortation from Jesus. Be shrewd as serpents and as innocent as doves. And so, the fully trained Christian knows how to back up, regroup, get informed about something, confident, and then confront. That's what will save you. When Paul confronts, in the second reading today, the enemy then, and the enemy we have in common with all of human history, it's as definite, but as dodgy as death. Do you hear Paul's confidence in the words today? You have the words of Scripture that you can go back and reference from the second reading, and they're popular words too. But what holds those words within us when we hear them is also his confidence. Read the confidence in St. Paul's words when he says this: where death is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? Those aren't just words. That's confidence. That's faith in those words. The feel of death can start as nagging as a splinter in the eye, is what Jesus used in the gospel. Spiritual death, physical death. It can be nagging, confronting death with Christ-centered knowledge and conviction. And that's when death loses its grip on us. Backing up, regrouping, getting informed, getting confident, and then confronting. That's what will save us in our situations. That's the faith available to save us. Our faith is effective when we take it and go on the offensive with